I've been playing Black Ops 2 the last couple days, and I can safely say that this is the most fun I've had with an online game in quite a while, and I think there's a few reasons for that. First, we have the Create a Class system. This is the game that introduced the Pick 10 system, and all it does is basically break the Create a Class system down into a series of points you have to invest in different things. So if I want to sacrifice grenades for extra perks or sacrifice perks for extra weapon attachments, I can do that. And I think it just gives you an unlimited amount of customization when it comes to how you want to build your class. So like in my case, I ditch secondary weapons and tacticals, lethals for extra perks or extra weapon attachments. Or I could do it the other way, where maybe I carry a secondary and I throw attachments on my secondary, but I'm only going to have a limited number of perks and maybe one grenade instead of having two. But it gives you an endless amount of options to customize your class how you see fit, and that just adds a ton of replay value to the game. I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands, of combinations you can make between all the perks, weapons, lethals, secondaries. I mean, and the balance I think is perfect too, where there's not so many different types of perks or different types of lethals, tactical equipment that's overwhelming, but there's also enough that it keeps you busy and gives you enough options. And this system really is perfect. I feel like the Create a Class system is the best in Black Ops 2 than any other Call of Duty game. Even in the games that have followed since that also use the Pick 10 system, I think this game did it the best without a doubt. But the arsenal of weapons you get in the game also really complement the Create a Class system. I mentioned it in my Black Ops 1 video where I said that Black Ops 1 probably has one of the most iconic arsenals in a video game, and I think Black Ops 2 is right up there with them. You know, you got the MTAR, M27, Vector, AN94, just some really cool weapons that I feel like you don't see in a lot of other games. But the gunplay is really smooth. I feel like weapons don't have a crazy amount of recoil like they do in Black Ops 1, but they also don't have so little recoil that they feel like laser beams, which is nice. Also, every weapon feels usable. There's not like one or two particular weapons that are so broken that you can't use them. I mean, there's definitely weapons that I prefer using, but I still find myself switching back and forth between every weapon in the game, except for maybe sniper rifles. I don't know what it is about using sniper rifles in this game. I'm not really big into that. There's also a perfect amount of weapon attachments where you have enough options that there's just an endless amount of things you can do to your weapon. But again, just like the perk system and Create a Class in general, it's not so overwhelming that you're going to get bored. And also, the game came out in 2012 and it takes place in 2025, so there's some things that are a little bit futuristic, but not crazy futuristic. Like you have a optic that can see through walls. You have like a target finder that highlights enemies in the field of view. So that's kind of cool, but it's not so futuristic and ridiculous that it takes away from the game. But I think just the Pick 10 system and the way the Create a Class system is structured, plus the arsenal of weapons, come together to form this harmony that you don't see in a lot of other Call of Duty games, where you just have an endless amount of options to customize your class and the way you play the game, but there's not so much stuff that it's like overwhelming to the point where you're not going to use half of it. And also, kind of part of the Create a Class system, you have the emblem editor, which I'm kind of shocked that they left in this game because I've seen some pretty horrifically offensive but hilarious things. If you want to see what mine is, you should come check me out on Twitch sometime. I've been streaming the game lately. It's a lot of fun. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. I feel like the movement and time to kill in this game is also perfect compared to just other FPS games and COD games. The game gives you the option to move pretty fast if you're using a perk like lightweight, but at the same time, the time to kill is so fast that I find myself playing the game more like a tactical shooter than I do more of an arcadey FPS game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still sprinting around the map sometimes, like trying to get my cardio in, but at the same time, if I'm coming around a junction or a corner, I find myself slowing down and aiming down the sights, and then just slowly taking the corner to make sure that someone's not camping in the corner, because that happens a lot. Or someone will sprint around the corner and they have an SMG and they have the right amount of perks or weapon attachments where they just aim down sights immediately and laser me. But I think a fast time to kill is good in a Call of Duty game, or just any FPS game really. It's kind of annoying when you get into a gunfight in video games and you shoot someone like 5 or 6 times and they still find a way to turn around and laser you even though they're like almost dead. And I don't find that happening very much in Black Ops 2. I feel like whoever is quicker on the draw or whoever's moving slower and more cautiously typically wins gunfights, and I feel like that's how it should be. And this is an older Call of Duty game, so this is before all the crazy, jumping through the air, running on wall type stuff, or like now we have Omni movement where you can slide, sprint in every direction, none of that stuff. The most you can do is dolphin dive, and I've found that every once in a while maybe someone dolphin dives through a door and takes me out, but I find 9 times out of 10 when they do that, they just land on the ground and I aim down and laser them. But when it comes to the movement and the time to kill, this game is definitely an example of less is more. Especially when you're playing hardcore, it's really noticeable how fast the time to kill is, but it's also a lot more satisfying when you get kills or like multi-kills. It's because you're moving slower and more cautiously. However, if you're customizing your class a certain way, you have a certain set of perks, a certain set of weapon attachments, certain weapons, you can still sprint around the map and do that kind of high speed Call of Duty stuff. It just won't work as well as in the newer Call of Duty games because most people in the game are also moving a lot slower and cautiously, so if you do want to sprint around the map like that, expect to die a lot. It's definitely weird going back to a game where the time to kill is this fast, just because I feel like we've gotten used to FPS games now where it's more just based on luck than it is just like timing and precision. So there's definitely an adjustment period to it, but once you get used to it, it's so much more fun than the newer Call of Duty games by leaps and bounds. When it comes to the maps, I think Black Ops 2 took everything that Black Ops 1 did right and just amplified it by 1,000. You still have that old school kind of 3-lane structure, but at the same time, I feel like they just flow better and easier than they do in Black Ops 1. It seems like they cater to every playstyles. I mean, you have long enough sight lines that if you want to use a sniper rifle or maybe an assault rifle with an ACOG, you can do that, but there's still enough cover in between these big open areas that you can bound up and use cover so that you're not getting blasted by sniper rifles if you plan it carefully. But there's still a lot of close quarters engagements and enough hallways or elevation changes that there's a variety in the gameplay that you experience. In my Black Ops 1 video, I also just talk about how it's not just the flow of the maps in Black Ops that make it really good, it's the aesthetic and just the personality that the maps bring to the game. And Black Ops 2 does an even better job of that. I mean, you have maps like Raid, Hijacked, Express that all just look really great. I think a big part of that is just due to the jump in technology. I mean, there's only a 2-year difference between these games, but just the graphical enhancements from Black Ops 1 to 2 is insane. Like, Black Ops 2 just looks so good. Even today, it holds up really well. If you were to show me a screenshot from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 6 and then you wanted me to tell them apart, I don't think I could. But I just love the vibe and personality that these maps have. I mean, when I play Hijacked, I'm like, damn, dude, I want to take a vacation on this yacht. Or Raid, I'm like, yeah, dude, I could rent this out as like an Airbnb and chill here. This looks like a really cool vacation. I mean, that's how I feel like most of the maps are. They're just so like fun to play on just because they look good and they have so much personality to them, on top of just the way they flow and just the movement of the game and the time to kill and all that stuff comes together to just form a great multiplayer experience. I'm going to go ahead and say Black Ops 2 has the best maps in the franchise. I think Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, is a close second, like really close, but I think Black Ops 2 edges it out just because they flow better and they look better. And I think a lot of people would agree with that just because there's so many maps in Black Ops 2 that have been remastered and brought back in other Black Ops games. I mean, Raid, Hijacked, Express, you know, all those maps, and Standoff 2 has been remastered in a bunch of other Black Ops games, and I think that's just because they are so iconic and they're just the best in the franchise, hands down. But I think this port is definitely worth it. If you have PlayStation Plus, it's $20. plus another $10 for the season pass that gives you all the DLC. And yeah, I think it's kind of lame that you have to pay an extra $10 for DLC, but you know, it is what it is. I would rather pay like $30 for a game that I know is going to be really good and I can play just endlessly and it never gets old, versus paying $70 for whatever slop that Call of Duty puts out now, or really any video game. And I didn't talk about the zombies in this video just because I haven't really been playing it. I think that's a pretty good indicator about how good the multiplayer is in this game. That's so good that I just ignored the rest of the game. I haven't touched the campaign, even though the campaign in this game is great. But I've played zombies a couple times, but I've been sinking most of my time in multiplayer just because it's that good that I'm ignoring the rest of the game. Black Ops 2 really is one of the best multiplayer experiences you can have in any video game. I would say it's up there with maybe like, you know, Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2, which are also really good multiplayer games. They just don't make games with this level of quality, and just the amount of care and detail that's put into it is really noticeable, and you feel it every time you play it, and it's just disappointing we don't get games like this anymore. But I would definitely recommend you go play it. You know, like I said, check me out on Twitch if you want to watch me live stream it. I'll probably be jumping on Battlefield 6 here in a couple days because the new update comes out and I want to check that out. So check me out on Twitch. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, it helps the channel grow, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.